on YouTube. But welcome to Two Common Coffee Club. We are down one individual today. She's taking care of some things, but that's okay. We'll carry on. We're here with Alessandra, and she's going to be talking about her upcoming class that she's doing. And I don't know, we're just going to kind of wing it and see where we go from here, because you have some nice little singing tips, and as embarrassing as it would be, you can share some.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so honored to be with you ladies. I just want to say thank you so much for having me, and the work that I want to call it the play that you do, the love that you share through your Two Coffee Comma Club is such a blessing for everyone. And so thank you. I'm very honored to be here and to talk about my master class. So so my voice master, so I'm a professionally trained opera singer, and I still am an active performer, and I've been building my voice studio the last year. When the pandemic started, it was like, oh, I wanted, maybe I should just start teaching online. And it's been amazing because I've been working with people from, I had a lesson with 20 in Australia, and then I had some more students in Oz. And I've been building my international community with my teaching, and my love for singing. In my own practice and performance experience, I realized that everyone has more vocal capacity than we realize. With my, I always knew that I could sing a certain way, but it wasn't quite coming out. And I just kept knowing that feeling and like knowing that desire, and just I was very persistent. And then I found people that really helped bring that out in me. So it's so funny. I'm nervous that we're live.
No, but let me say, no, it's like all of a sudden it all starts. I think what you're saying, Alessandra, is so relevant, because the idea of communicating and really expanding your vocal power has to do with all your power, and how it's not just your things you're saying, but it's the whole expression of your whole being that comes through here, and what you're manifesting. So this ties in very, very strongly, that you're sort of speaking things into being, as well as through your imaginal activity, which I think is very important. My cat is now expressing herself.
Yes.
She has this thing. Yeah. She always, this is her thing. When she goes off to, eat or whatever, and she comes back, and she always notifies the entire world that she's with about 6 or 8 meows. I've counted, and I know it's always about the same, that she's back. So anyway, but I really feel that, if you look at it, we could also say the energy centers, traditionally the chakras. So your throat area is like the mediator, or the bridge between, we talk about bridges a lot in manifesting, between your heart, the lower chakras or energy, or however you want to, align it, whether you believe in that or not. But there is a connection between, at least saying, the heart, the body, and the spiritual center, or the mind, or however you want to say it, but it has to meet somewhere where it's expressed.
Yes, and it's also about the breath, and everything starts from the breath, and singing is about breathing on pitch. It's about expressing on pitch, speaking on pitch. So absolutely, and it's about just the expression of you. So we have these vocal the vocal box, and the larynx and all the different articulators. And those are just our tools, right? So in the class, we'll be doing, and we'll be doing it now too, ha ha ha, doing some exercises that can help it's all about finding that right connection to open up a whole new world of sound, a whole new world of expression. It's like in yoga, what you do, Valerie, when it's not about pushing, exactly, just like with manifesting also, it's never about pushing or force. It's about finding that tiny connection, that can open up, that creates this big, huge sound, and so you're not pushing or you're forcing, you're with your body, you're stretching, you're not pushing your muscles to make something happen. So I like helping people tap into that and discovering, oh, wow, where did that come from? So that's fun. And then in this class, it's going to be 5 weeks. We have some wonderful people already, like Anya, who I think she wouldn't mind me sharing that she's going to be in the class, and she was in the last masterclass series, and she requested duets for this time that we focus on. So we're going to be focusing on duets in addition to, breathing and finding more connection with your sound and your power and how you express it. So yes. So
wow. Wow. It's fun. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, David's watching, Bill's watching. David said there's only 2 of us. So yes, David, Michelle was not able to be with us today, but we're still here making it happen. Maybe she'll pop on. I don't know. We'll see.
We love you, Michelle.
Yes, we miss you. So, it's funny because you're talking about, using the breath and being a duet. Last year I was at a karaoke night with some friends, and I got up with one of them and we did this duet to like a John Denver song, Country Roads. And it was amazing. We were in sync, we were in harmony, people applauded. We tried it a few weeks later with we were doing the same song, but I think that the arrangement that they picked on their programming when they set it up for us was different, and it was nothing like the first one.
It happened, right? It's like you guys had set the stage of that experience. You nailed it in your imagination of we're having fun and we're doing it. And sometimes it's like when we try to recreate it from just going back to that memory in a way that doesn't, that can happen. And that's actually a really good point, Valerie, because oftentimes even in my own experience of singing and being in a lesson and having this experience where my teacher will say, oh, okay, do this, sing, hear it. I respond a lot to visualization and imaginary scenes. So I actually work that way a lot, very kinesthetic experiences. But so she'll say something and then I'll do it. And then it's like when you try to recreate it, what you just did, it feels like, wait, how did I do that? So it's always about going back into that experience, right? So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is trying to, pull out that same experience, but it's never going to be quite the same. I mean, it's like, it's always
live performance is always different. And that's the beauty too. It's like, how do you just keep allowing, how do you prepare so that that you're solid in your performance? I mean, that's a whole nother thing. It's like performance technique of, really knowing how to prepare your song or what you're doing. And then, getting that muscle memory in your experience, or nailing that state, if you will, we're speaking in Neville terms, nailing that state of this perfect performance and embodying that experience and then letting it go. And then when you are in that experience again of, okay, I'm performing, you can actually go back into that feeling state of, okay, I've done all the preparation and now I'm just present here with my audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally. That's a different feeling entirely. But it's also not being nervous that you're going to perform, and make a flub or hit bad notes or whatever. And I guess that's the thing that comes up for a lot of people when they actually are singing.
Well, isn't it funny? We're in this conversation, and we could be like, oh my gosh, it could go horribly wrong, like what are we going to say? So it's not just with singing or technically performing, on a stage, but in any experience, it's in a way, it's the same principle, right? So it's like, I think I did a podcast on this when I was in high school. My German teacher asked me to prepare a song for the Christmas show in front of the school. I went to a small Catholic high school, and just a very loving community. And it was this very famous song in the classical world. And it was in German. And so I listened to it, and I was listening and studying the song and the music. And I was like, oh yeah, I've got this, no problem. And I kept studying it and repeating it to myself. And when it got to the actual performance, I got on stage. I knew that the melody is very memorable, so I knew the tune. But as soon as I got on stage, I completely forgot the lyrics. And my German it's still, I can speak German pretty well, but I still can't, my German wasn't good to just kind of make up words, in German. So I did make up words in German, but it was very nonsensical. And so I just was like, I don't remember, but I just kept making up words while I was singing, and I just kept going and stood on stage like, okay, I knew what the song was about, so I was expressing that, and I just kept going. And at the end, my German teacher, she and I looked at each other and just started cracking up. And every, fortunately, it wasn't in the on the opera stage where people would know.
Right.
Your work. But my teacher, other people were like, oh, that was so amazing, and it was just so funny, and so I could have frozen and said, oh, excuse me, stop, the end of the world, but I just kept going, because that's what you do, right? That's life. So
exactly, you keep it going somehow, even when you forget. But that's definitely happened to performers. They're up there and they suddenly go, blanked it out.
it happens, and so it is really about being in the moment and connecting with your audience, even if or with yourself. So yeah, but would you like to do some singing? Are you
sure. Come on, you can.
I was in reflection of all of this. I was just having like little flashbacks on when I quit singing, because I did as a kid, obviously, and like I think my 6th birthday, I got a karaoke machine with microphone, everything, right? Had that thing for years. I mean, so I was like probably leaving the house at 18, right? And I did theater, and I was always interested in even like musicals, right? And I guess I was like 21, 22, and I had a pretty embarrassing experience when I was trying out for a play. I was trying out for a musical, Into the Woods. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Oh yeah.
I love that one. Yes. I wanted it so bad, and I embarrassed myself. And it, where you were saying you just keep going. Yeah, I didn't keep going. I stopped and cried.
I've done that too. Yeah.
I've never sang in front of people ever again.
Oh.
And that was when I was 21, so 10 years ago.
Well, you just inspired me, girl.
Oh.
Whoa.
Because now, like, my face is turning red. I'm like, oh no. Ah.
Well, you know, that's the thing. And I used to be told, you know, I couldn't sing on key for a long time, but that changed. It took a long time, but eventually it sort of changed. And I started being able to do that. So you know, but a lot of times if people tell you, like family members, oh, you know, we don't, you know, get the melody right or whatever. And we end up carrying that wound around with us, so that we become inhibited in certain ways about vocally expressing. So, you know, or we don't want to do it in front of somebody else, sing, you know, it's like, you know, if your significant other suddenly, you know, he comes into a room where you were just kind of singing while you were doing the dishes or something, they come in the kitchen, it's like you go,
yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I'm very honored that you guys shared that, because I hear that all the time. You know, that's very common. I think it's a very common experience, especially in schools and in productions, when they're so oriented with the result, you know. And so oftentimes in chorus, you'll get a chorus teacher, and I've heard this a lot, where they'll say, you know, and I experienced this in my undergrad at a music school. It's like, oh, I wanted experience, but they would obviously give it to the older people that were more prime ready. And so in chorus, in an elementary school setting, you know, a teacher who is trying to navigate a lot of different parts and has a certain idea in mind, and if they hear, you know, a voice is kind of off, they don't want to hear that. So oftentimes they don't give the right instruction or direction. God bless, you know, choral teachers. I'm imagining lovingly for all of you. It's not everybody, but so oftentimes people will be silenced. And so I think that's very, it's like a sacred space with your voice and expression, and we tend to hide it. You know, we're also taught just to live in society. Oh, be quiet, you know, don't say that, don't do that, that's bad, or that's good, you know. And so we have a lot of rules that we put on ourselves, where we just automatically shut down. So I've been very blessed to have, you know, a certain mentor who really was very goofy, and who was like, you know, he was very insightful. And it actually very much brought me to this spiritual journey of myself, more of this awakening of who I am, and understanding why I would react. Like one time, Lene, I'm going to get back to you and help you with that, what you shared. But one time I remember I was doing an opera, and I was in rehearsals, and my character was very wounded, and she had this kind of wounded relationship with her mom, but she was also kind of funny, I guess. I guess maybe I played the character. I had some wit. I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember in rehearsal, I was doing a scene, and people started laughing, and I literally, it was like I was in the state of either that character or that me who related to that character. And I just was like, don't laugh. Like I broke out of that, you know, it was, in a way, it was like I was still that character. Responding to people laughing. And my director said, what's your problem? You know, you did a great job. What the heck? But to your point, Lene, well, first of all, you can obviously revise that experience. And you know that. So, but
I forgot about it till we started talking, to be honest, but it made me realize that's the last time I sung in front of people.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So
Well, would you like to sing in front of people again? Well, I guess today you might be, but
Yeah.
you don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't want, I try to create a safe space for people and I like to stretch them, but I also want them to feel safe to say no, or no, I'm not going to do that right now. We just to be in an explorative space, but also to feel safe, if that makes sense. So we don't have to, but we can totally. So we do some breathing exercises and stuff like that, or
Sure, whatever you want.
yeah. And you can go back to that experience, Lene, and in your mind, in your imagination, and you can either like give yourself a hug. I mean, you could do that. I would do that anyway, but I would go back into that experience and just feel that how proud you are of yourself for nailing it, you know, singing so beautifully and singing the way you wanted to do it, you know, or hearing people compliment you on how great you sounded. What was the role that you were going for?
Well, at the time, it was just in general, we were doing the singing first, and then basically the tryouts were like split. So we're going to sing first. If you have a good voice, we'll take you in, then we can see your acting. I didn't even make it to that far because so I don't know if you've watched our other episodes, but I was in a abusive marriage. And that was the time too. And he made fun of me for like the rest of my life, or my rest of our relationship, about it. Because he was there with me. He went there to support me and then just made fun of me. So like, not only was it that experience, but it was him, like, you know, and I was embarrassed too, because I didn't come prepared with a song. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I just moved there and went to the city theater, you know, not knowing anything. And they're like, hey, let's do tryouts. I said, sure. So I freaking sang the Star Spangled Banner, because that was like the only song I could think of at that moment that I knew and could sing well. And I had sang it at my tech school graduation in the military. I sang it at football games when I was in high school. You know, it was like one of those ones, like my go-to, like, well, I know I can do this on a microphone even, and
Right.
no problem singing it. So I sang that, and all the thoughts of everybody came in here with a theater song, and I'm over here fucking belting out like I'm at a football game. So I was already feeling embarrassed, which then that reflected outside of me. And I just stopped and just cried. And then he just made fun of me. And anyways, so you could see the whole thing was just a big yikes for me, and why I just put it into it. I will never sing again. I will never do it again. You know, I mean, that was a decision I made.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I stuck to it. So.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
I've never told anybody this. So.
Wow.
There it is, everybody. There you go.
You just had a breakthrough. I consider that a breakthrough.
You
know, because like with singing, it's a lot about mental breakthroughs in a way. I mean, I guess that's an assumption, but it doesn't have to be that way. But there are these feelings of like, it is so vulnerable. I have this one student he's 17 and he's a bass. His voice has changed completely since, you know, he just turned 17. So when I first started working with him in the beginning of the year, he had like a high voice and he had been a tenor, and then his voice keeps dropping. And so we've been, you know, I'm like, he's hitting all these really super low notes and he's a bass, and he doesn't, he was actually in the last master class, which was really so beautiful for everybody. Just the interaction and the camaraderie, how people were supportive. And also, because I like to be a very supportive person just in general. I like to, but I'm also genuine and real. I'm not just saying something I don't feel. So, but it's nice for other people to get other people's feedback. So it's not just like, oh, my teacher thinks I'm great, you know, but what does that mean? You know, but so we had a lesson this week and we went a little bit deeper. And I was like, how was that, Eli? And he goes, honestly, it feels like the closet door was open and all these ghosts just came out. You know, everything just drops.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's something to be said for that, like to acknowledge it's not just, there is the aspect of, yes, just open your mouth and sing and let it out, but it's not that really. It would be nice, and we can approach it that way too, like just sing and just be happy, and that's beautiful. But it's also about, you know, your heart and your soul and your expression. So I really want to take the time to really honor what you just shared, Lene, because you already, what's cool to notice for you is you already have a presence with your voice. Like, look at you, what you're doing with your voice. Yeah. What you're doing with your voice, Valerie. Yeah, I mean, you guys have this incredible presence. And so I think acknowledging how you already are using your voice to share your truth and your love, like that is already an inspiration to people, right? And I think I'm going to change my view so I can see you now.
I'm getting all in my feels right now.
Yeah, because yeah, so let's just take some deep breaths. So yeah, we can get still and just blow out all the air. Go. And it's like, yeah, that's nice. And that feeling of when we're lying down to get ready to sleep, how our natural breath just flows. So take some, let's do some shh. So it's an SH, like you're saying hush. Yeah. Shh. Good. And now feel in your ribs or in your ribs. So you can't see me because I'm sitting, but let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hands here. Hello, so awkward. Right. So we don't want to collapse the chest, like go, right?
I got a baby in my ribs right now.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. So
my ribs are right here.
So how is breathing for you? That's amazing.
It's hard to breathe, but when I have to sit back, because then it pushes my uterus down out of my lungs.
Right.
But in normal times when that's not there, I'm fine. I just have to lean back to like fully expand my lungs.
Because when you breathe in, of course, your diaphragm pushes the organs out of the way so your lungs can really expand. So right now that's a little more of a challenge, but that's the function that we're.
Yes, yeah. And I used to, I put them and they're always out of breath because the baby's like in all of it.
Right.
That's amazing. Amazing. Okay. So go to your belly button where your baby is. I've never been pregnant, so I don't have that experience. And I know a lot of women who have who continue singing when they're pregnant, and it's like reworking their, how to approach. And I think that's amazing. So you tell me, how it feels, and maybe you can adjust or something like that. So that feeling, and Valerie, that inhalation, how do you feel that inhalation with yoga?
Well, in yoga, when we're practicing something called the 3-part breath, which is the basic yoga breath, without getting too technical about it, but you start it really starts in the belly, even though it's all controlled through the lungs and the diaphragm. It's the sensation of the belly expanding, and then feeling the ribs widen, and then the chest, the lower chest widens, and then the upper chest lifts. But we all know one of the first things you understand when you're teaching, and you probably see this with students who have not done much singing, who are not sure about their breath, that we tend to breathe right up here. Most people do.
Yeah.
Or when we're focusing, we're holding our breath. So how do you respond to that in your teaching?
Yes. So yes, that's beautiful. We tend to, I can still be like this, but when I'm excited, I'd be like, so
it sounds so operatic when you do it.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's oftentimes my teacher would say, just blow it out. It's like let it out. And just, it's also like coming back to neutral, or that stillness. So, and let's do that. Shh. So feel where that is, or even zzz. So shh. Good. Yeah, that's it. Shh. After each one, the ribs will naturally expand out again. So I'm going to inhale. You can't really see very much, but so I'll blow it out for a second. You saw that? Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to inhale. And technically we feel it in the back too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
You felt that, Lene, in your back?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, everything's breathing the back of the lungs.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that different, Lene?
Yeah, like I feel that. That's
great. Yeah.
I've never noticed when
Nice.
making different sounds that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that's where you want to even sing from your back, people will say, or we can sing from all sorts of places actually. But if you're feeling that expansion in your back and all the way across your ribs, and just say zzz, and for you, well, for both of you, for all of us, imagine that Z is below your belly button. Zzz. Yeah. Yeah. So now this is so fun. You ladies are so fun. You're so great.
It's a very playful breath.
Yes. Now put a little bit of air. Let's see. Do we want to do that? It's just an idea. I don't want you to blow air through it. Like, I don't want that. But just to feel like you're inhaling, like you're smelling a rose. Say,
Oh, we're a bee. I'm getting nectar. Okay.
Is it normal to feel lightheaded?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm feeling a little woo.
Okay. Don't do it too much then.
Yeah.
Are you also sitting or standing?
I'm sitting.
Yeah. So normally when we're also doing this, we would want to stand so the air can move through.
Yeah.
So
I could, well, in choir, they make you sit up, hands on your lap, so you're straight if you're not standing. So that makes sense because you're expanding all of that.
Yes.
So I will sit like that. Maybe that'll give me more. I have limited room to begin with. So
you know what? With that being said, let's do this. So put your arms up and take, inhale. Just, yeah. And just drop your arms. Yeah.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can move around. So oftentimes when we're sitting up, right, we tend to stiffen our back, and we don't want that with singing or with expanding our expansion of our beingness or with our voice or what have you. So you can actually use that, Lene, and use your belly, like feel like you're putting your arms around your belly. Valerie, do you have a yoga ball?
Not handy. No, I don't have I don't
Okay.
have a ball here. No.
So this is something.
But I know I've often done this. I know the feeling. So
okay. So notice your back. So yeah. Now just say hey.
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 Yeah. Good.
Hey.
Ha.
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 Yeah. Ba.
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 Blah.
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 Okay. Blah.
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 That's it. So say ba ba.
Ba ba ba.
Good.
Ba ba.
We're just gonna play. Who knows what will show up? So
my cat, his name is Bubba. So
that's how I talk to my baby.
Yeah. That's great. Yep. Okay. So let's just play with the lips for a second. Say yum yum yum.
Yum yum
yum
yum.
yum yum.
Good. Yum yum yum.
Yum
Yum yum yum.
Good. So when we sing or when we're speaking, we're using all these different resonance cavities, right? So it's like the lips and the tongue, they're articulators. They're part of our toolbox, right? But where are we speaking from, or where does it resonate? So it can resonate in the chest. It can resonate in the head. It can resonate here. And ideally we want it all to resonate in harmony together, have all these different things happening. And so we're already doing that, right? So you hear, like, babies, for example, are the best singers in a way, right? Because they just, where does your baby sing from, do you think? Where does it feel like? Or cry from?
His is very high pitched, and I feel like it's just from his chest here, just because he's like, ah! Very high pitched. And I guess when I imagine a higher pitched sound, it's more up here than down, if that makes sense. Yeah. I guess in my mind, that's where I see it.
Great.
Or back of the throat, scream kind of thing.
What about you, Valerie? How do you perceive sound with high register and low register, or just screaming?
Well, low register, I feel a lot down here. I've done it so that I can feel the vibration of it in my body cavity. So I feel it all kind of down in here, and then the higher sounds I feel higher up in my body. Because it feels more connected that way. But I never could get the hang of it when someone would say sing from your diaphragm. I never got that piece,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I always, I understood what the diaphragm does, and I understand about the rib cage and all that, and the function of the breathing. But for me, of course, I have also just chanting, as a yoga teacher and meditation student, learning like Om, which is considered the primordial sound. You do start to play with it. You do pick up like the E-A-I-O-U sound within Om. It's very vowel oriented.
Yes.
So that makes your body feel very open. And it doesn't matter whether you're singing, you may know this from your own experience too, ladies, is that you feel the vowel sounds, whether you're singing Ave Maria, whether you're singing some other type of song that has a lot of vowel sounds, the consonants are going to close things off. So if you want to have fun with things at home, practice singing like ee and ah and things that open you up. And I think you've probably seen that happen. Am I correct?
Yes. In classical training, classical voice training or musical theater or whatnot, it's, well, actually it's funny. My very first voice teacher, we did musical theater, and she was like, you have to get rid of that American R, because, because it'd be like, I forget, but we have to let go of that. So there's actually a very methodical way of teaching vowels and consonants and diction and stuff with singing. And we often use Italian vowels to learn how correct singing, for example, because the ah in Italian, the ah is very bright, sada, or e, or a, the e, ah, a. We have so many diphthongs in English in our own tongue, but in Italian, everything is very pure. They're, clear, pure vowels, ah, o, u, e, ah, so the sound, having that pure vowel allows you to connect with the sound, and the vowels kind of work together. So I like to start with the E vowel. So say B.
B.
Good. Okay, can we do you, Valerie?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
How are we for time and all that kind of?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay.
You can go a little longer.
Okay. So let's do say we'll do say beep beep beep.
Beep beep beep.
Good. Keep going. Beep beep.
Beep beep beep.
Good. Beep beep beep.
Beep beep. I lost me on that one. Beep beep, because I'm not picking up the higher note.
Okay, I love this because it's I can give you clear direction that you can fix that. So so what you're doing is you're hearing the pitch, but you're feeling like you have to go low to get there. So just imagine that you're just going right to that pitch. Beep. So the pitch feels high in a way. It's not for your voice, but beep. Just say ba. Use good. Use your hand. Go ba. Beep.
Beep. Beep.
Good. Notice it went this way. I want you to just go beep.
Beep.
Yeah. Beep.
Beep.
Yeah, that's
beep. Beep.
Ba.
Find it. I'll tell you, after we do this, I'll tell you very funny. I'll tell you a Neville vowel story right after. That's very recent. And I'll tell you that right after.
A Neville vowel.
Beep, beep, beep.
Good. Let's say say Good. Meow meow meow.
Yum yum yum. My cat taught me that. Yum.
Good. Yeah. Now stay there, but the pitch is going to go up, but where you're speaking from, it's the same place. You just keep speaking into that sound. Meow meow meow.
Meow meow meow.
There you go. Good.
Feels good. Right?
Yeah.
Floating.
and good. And keep that low connection. Buh.
Buh.
Good.
Buh.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Beautiful. Yeah. How was that?
Felt great. It felt really great. But here's the thing. A lot of us, well, maybe not so much today's kids, but our generation, what is one of the nursery rhyme tunes we learn, nursery rhymes? Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Okay, so along comes 20 and he does on his show, I-A-Y-P-O. It means it's all you pushed out.
Yeah.
And of course, Neville would have said it as E-I-Y-P-O. Everyone is you pushed out. So if you want to do your manifesting and your vowels and your singing, just go E-I-Y-P-O. You got it. It's right there. So
ladies, do this for a second. Go, ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Renee, I want to hear, let's hear you sing. Say ooh.
Me?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's beautiful. Ooh.
Woohoo. Yo, I make these noises all the time. I'm silly, but
what's a song that you you love that you sing in your head?
oh
In the
God,
shower.
that's the wrong question. I have so many. I do like I still like to listen to Christian music. So like those are songs that I'll sing along to and stuff. So like Oceans, I love that song. I think it's so beautiful.
How does that go? I don't know it.
Hillsong. You don't know that song?
Not by name, but maybe I do. Will you sing it for me? So
well, now I'm on the spot. What are the damn lyrics? Hang on, I'm already forgetting. You know who Hillsong is, right?
Possibly. You know, Grant makes, well, he doesn't make fun of me, but I make fun of me because like I don't know a lot of pop songs that I should know.
Well, we could pick. We could pick something.
I got all nervous. I'm like,
sorry, I put you on the spot. You don't have to. Okay. Do you like Valerie, do you want to sing something?
Sure. You can give me
do you want to even sing? Do you guys want to sing happy birthday or something?
Sure. Want to try that?
I can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do it? Where does it feel? So go into that experience of just having sung it and how fun it was.
Right, you go to the end. So you go to, it was already sung, you already had a great time singing, you were laughing, feeling great, blew out the candles.
Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you could sing.
Yeah.
Why aren't you singing more?
Okay.
Or just, wow, I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, it's okay. And let's you know what, let's make silly sounds. Let's say beep beep
beep beep beep.
What's that?
Were you waiting for me to sing it?
Maybe I was, I'm not sure. I think it wasn't I was waiting for you. I think I just wanted, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's do
E-I-Y-P-O.
You want to do that? E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P. Hang on, let me write that down.
It's all you pushed out. E-I-Y-P-O. Or everyone is you pushed out. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O. Okay.
Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
That's beautiful. Keep going, ladies. And on the farm, he had a duck. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
With a
Quack, quack.
here. And
Quack, quack.
there.
There.
Here, whack, here, quack.
There, quack.
Everywhere.
Quack, quack.
Quack.
Now do it a little bit like E-I-Y-P-O. What is silly? Okay, see how silly that is? It just is like, it doesn't matter, right? E-I-Y-P-O.
Or
E-I-Y-P-O.
Yeah, that's it. Now, let's see. Let's do, so sometimes I like to do things with my hand. Like, so do this for a second. E-I-Y-P-O. You're gonna throw out the sound. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
Good. Now throw it before the sound comes out. Like you're
like this. Just throw it.
So yeah. So you know how when you're playing with darts, you have an aim, and you're just gonna like throw it in the slot. It's the same thing with sound and directing your sound in a way. It's like you want to feel like you're aiming it and you're just throwing it there. So in a way that leads you. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
Yeah. E-I-Y-P-O.
E-I-Y-P-O.
There you go.
E-I-Y-P-O. Wow, I feel like I yelled.
Good.
Well, sometimes it's
Yeah.
E-I-Y-P-O.
Good. Valerie, do
Hang
do
on
it in your head voice. Good. E-I-Y-P-O. There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feel.
Sinus in my sinuses.
Yeah. Right here. Say.
Right here.
E-I. There you go. So Lene, where that crying is, ooh.
That's what I need to do.
Just play with that for a second. Ooh, yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's great. Your voice, it's all there. So just like speaking into it. E-I. Yeah. E-I. Y-P-O.
Y-P-O.
There you go. Yeah.
I forgot the letters for a second. I moved the paper. There we go.
Does. Yes. Good. So
that's fun.
I think it's just fun to play with sound and just see what shows up, and beep, beep, ooh, you could play with that. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. And you can, who did you want to be in Into the Woods, Lene? Did you want to be a specific character?
No, I just wanted to do any of it. And that's why I was so unprepared.
Or you were just unprepared because you were unprepared. It happens.
Yeah.
It's here.
Well, I was writing it or something.
Yeah. So do you guys have any requests from me? I actually have to teach a lesson in a few minutes. Another one.
Hi guys.
Hi,
Hey.
Michelle.
Hi.
Yeah, still time.
I thought
You want
I'd
to
just
sing?
dash in while I could. Hello.
Hello.
Do I want to what? Sing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Put me on the spot.
Absolutely. Or how are you, Valerie and Lene? How are you ladies feeling?
Oh, good. I mean, it feels it's very like relaxing, actually.
Yeah.
Don't you find that the tension starts to go out? when you let that sound out.
Yeah, and it made me realize like how much I actually missed singing, and that I've really like sabotaged myself for years about it and wouldn't do it. Like I'll sing like little nursery rhymes to my baby and stuff, but like where nobody can hear me. It's just me and him, you know?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well,
But I always wanted, like, I wanted to do a solo when I would be in choir. I always wanted like those opportunities, and I just, yeah, like I said.
So how can you give that to yourself now?
I think I definitely need to revise what happened, tell a different story, and not live there anymore.
I know you're an absolute rock star.
Yeah.
You have, I mean, I haven't heard like a lot of actual singing. Well, actually, yes, I have. You have a great voice. We can already tell, you know, everything is very clear. Yeah. So Michelle, if you wanted Lene to sing something, what would you ask her to sing? Because, you know, old story, whatever, that's fine, but we're here now. If that's okay. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I'm just still like really nervous about it, like I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. No problem.
I'm not
Michelle,
ready. I'm not ready.
Well, notice that you already sang and that it was beautiful. Like even these, I mean, some of the exercises that were given to me, they're not always, you know, there's some pretty funny language in there. I don't feel comfortable sharing all the, you know, the kind of, it depends if I have family listening.
Yeah.
But you could do like, oh, yuck. You know, like just playing with, ooh, yuck. Ooh, yuck. You know, just like letting your, beep, oh, bop, blop.
Blah.
Yeah. When you were a kid, did any of you ever play opera? My family did this all the time. I don't know, when I was right, and you'd say, "Pass the salt," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, or "Can you dry the dishes?" Or something like that. You know, and we play around with that, and you could do that for a really long time. And that is really great fun, because you never know, because all of a sudden you're not even thinking about it and a note's going to come out of you, a sound,
right? Yeah.
and it surprises you how amazing that is.
And
right?
like,
because you weren't consciously trying. Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so that's really where the fun is in doing that. So the more unconscious. Now, of course, then when suddenly you're in a group, even if it's like, I'm sure, what have you found over like in your, Alessandra, in your masterclass? Because this is your second one that you're doing, I think. It starts in 2 weeks, that people, when they start, they're probably very inhibited in the beginning, because they have all these expectations built up about what they're going to have to do or be in front of people and let it out. And it's it's a feeling of being very
you don't know what's
vulnerable.
Yes.
It's very vulnerable right now. I will tell you that. I feel very vulnerable with the whole thing. So
well, thank you for being willing to have me and even share that, because that's, I feel like I said, I feel like that's a breakthrough in itself, you know.
It's
like acknowledging how we really feel. You know?
That's right.
And being okay with that, and then we can it's like only when we do that can we move beyond it, you know.
Right. And honestly, now that I acknowledge that and I realize that, I can see, just like with everything, when you notice something that you've been doing, I can see how this has played out in so many other ways in my life, not just singing. other
Right.
ways. And it's almost freeing myself of that, because I'm seeing like, oh my goodness, I have really like literally held it all in and never let myself fully express myself, you know. And I'm not doing it right now, but now it's where I've noticed it. And, you know, who knows, a week from now, I'm completely different about it, right?
Yes. It reminds me of Kathy Chase. She came to me and she had a lot of, she felt she hated her voice, and she hated, or I trust she's okay with me sharing this, but she did not like her expression, and she felt I think there was some shame in there or something like that. And we addressed that, and we explored that and kind of played with that. And then what's been amazing to me is Kathy is now doing she's doing this incredible stuff with her own fitness, and now
Yes.
she's a leader. And I get the sense, she would say that, you know, the singing, it wasn't even about the singing. It was about like going through that process of just being okay with that. And now it's like she found her voice doing, you know, and she wrote to me, she said, you know, I've been making up these workouts with tunes, with singing tunes, you know. And so you're right. It is more than just singing. It's about being okay with yourself too, right? Or just being like, I'm okay, and I have something to say, I have something to give. I don't know exactly what that looks like. Maybe it might look like something different, but there it is, you know.
Kathy is a rock star, and you know, she reached out when we had first launched the show by about maybe our third or fourth episode. She had reached out to us and wanted to join us, so that started the whole process of our having guests. We call that show Coming Out of Hiding. That was very important to her. And after that, she joined you with the vocal exercises. She got her fitness certifications. She's doing all kinds of challenges. She posts about this all the time. Kathy is just on fire. She is doing so many things, and you know, like in midlife, and she's exploding all the time. Incredible breakthroughs.
Really proud of her.
So inspiring.
Found her voice, that wanted to be heard, and she's being heard because she's found her status.
Yes.
Perfect. That's right. She found her status. Yeah.
She just continued to show up for herself, and then this whole new world has shown up for her. Yeah. That's beautiful.
So really, if you know, by starting to explore your voice, that of course is a huge shift about what you imagine about yourself, how you communicate, how you show up.
Yes.
And then how everybody's going to show, like you just said, as you just said, Alessandra, how it all shows up for you.
Well, and what's so fun is, you know, hearing people, like I will do a tiny little shift with someone, and then they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I could sing high. I thought I lost that, you know. And the truth is we all have that ability. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it, you know, or getting out of our way and being open to it. And there is a lot of identity attached to it, I think, you know, or we can. And so I love, you know, we get to discover who we are through the process, you know, and different part, you know, you get to discover anew who you are, you know, or it's always been there, but you didn't know it was there until it showed up. It's kind of like what you were saying, Valerie. It's like sometimes when you say something all of a sudden and you had no idea, it's like, where did that come from? What happened? What did I say that? Whoops. Or, oh my gosh, that came out of, you know, so it's fun to play with that.
Absolutely.
Michelle, did you have any wishes for this experience also? Michelle.
Michelle?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I go all over the place sometimes.
Do I have any what? Sorry.
Did you have a wish for this time also? Do you want to do anything?
So, no, I didn't have any preconceptions of anything. I'm just glad that I managed to get on.
Well, awesome. Well,
So
awesome.
let's start to wind our session down for this week. But where can people find you? We're gonna post that when we post the replay. But if you want to just say what's the best way to find you if people want to sign up for the course, we still have some spaces open for this masterclass or to get on a wait list for the next one. Where will they find you?
They can go to singwithalessandra.com. Or find me on Facebook. You can private message me or at my email, alessandrafil@icloud.com. And we do have a few slots open, so it would be really fun. Would love to have you along. The more the merrier.
That'll be great. So, and we are To Come a Coffee Club, and you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and YouTube, and Anchor, and wherever you get your podcasts. And stay tuned for our announcement when we're going to be doing our first live Q&A coming up. We've got something in the works on that. So stay tuned for announcements about that. And if you do have questions for us, anything relating to manifesting and areas where you're stuck or looking for or have questions about the whole process, drop us an email at tocomeacoffeeclub@gmail.com. And our website's going to be up pretty soon. You can also find our books that we have authored at NevilleGoddardSummit.com, and they're in the Neville Goddard Summit store. So we're all over the place, and always happy to hear from you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Alessandra. It's been a joy.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies. I really appreciate it. It's been such a pleasure.
Can you just sing us out and sing To Come a Coffee Club like you did last time, please?
Coffee Club is where it's at. Come join the fun.
Yay!
Beautiful. Thank you. Woo! All right. See you soon.
Okay. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.